I do not know as much about human relationships as I thought.
Falling in quickly. Tell me you feel something too.
And we're live. At least I think we're live. Welcome, everyone. Today we are casting the game between EXE and FLM. You may know me as Alex55137. I'm joined by my cousin and teammate,
FN Super Thig.
And let's get right on into it. So, going ahead and introducing the players, I'll start with EXE. They've got Bear Sun in the top lane, Trick Nick GG in the jungle, Padawan Tano in the mid lane, and then their bot lane is Solo Mason and Capwell.
Yep. Who are you looking to see for EXE today? Like, who do you expect to really perform?
Well, recently it's been the Padawan Tano show.
Yeah.
We were looking at the stats that Big Lots puts together. Shout out to him. And he has yet to die in the entire Season 2 of EGL. He's got really good kill participation. His stats just in general are off the charts. So if you're looking for a carry on EXE, you don't really have to look any farther than him.
I would agree. I think Bear Sun could really step up today, too,
Yes.
as well. He had a great Season 1, and he didn't really perform all too well in this first series, but I feel like he can bounce back and really take it to Gildio tonight.
Yes. Yeah, every member of that team has performed well recently. Now let's talk about their opponents a bit.
Yeah, so the other side, we have FLM with Gilio in the top lane, Viz in the jungle, the Crunk mid lane, and then Hyperion and who is it? It's Storyteller bot lane,
Storyteller
right?
is their final play.
Yeah. So who are you looking to see for FLM?
Well, they've been struggling so far in the last in this season. They've have yet to win a game. They've just been kind of struggling across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So given that, it's really hard to say, oh, this player is going to pop off because they've just been struggling so much. But I think Gilio has the potential to play well. We've definitely seen good play from him in the past and in Season 1 of EGL. And then I have seen good stuff from Hyperion and from Storyteller in the past. Obviously, I played with Storyteller last season on THE, so I know he's a strong player. So I think it's more of a team-wide problem. They need to work together better and communicate better. I don't think anyone's just, I don't think they lack the skills to compete here.
Viz isn't starting. It's Pai jungle. Oh, so it's Pai in the jungle, not Viz.
Oh, okay. The big mystery to me is the Crunk. We haven't seen a whole lot of history from him, so I'm interested to see more about what he.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a real tough night going against Padawan, who is the best mid in the league. I hear from everyone.
Yeah,
everyone
of
seems
course.
to say it.
Even in the lobby, they're like showing the respects to Mr. Tano.
Yeah. He's always playing really far, like really safe. You're never really gonna push Patty like out of the lane, get him to like. You're not gonna catch him out, get him early, but he's just so safe.
so
It's
it'll
so
be
frustrating to play against, but also probably so helpful to have on your team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a good part of being a consistently strong player is, not taking unnecessary risks. So that's obviously something that he does well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what kind of champions are we expecting to see here in a few minutes when Champion Select begins? Obviously, Padawan has got a pretty well-defined champion pool, not necessarily a conventional one. He's got, Ari, Nico, Lissandra,
And Lux.
yeah. So he always kind of dominates the champion select. You'll see weird bans and picks because of his style. But what else are we looking for here?
Cody's been playing, or Solo Mason's been playing a lot of Caitlyn in the circuit. I don't really expect him to go off of that, but something else we could see him play would be something like the Senna, who's a pretty consistent, like weak side AD carry that can really.
Yeah, and we see Senna performing well everywhere in League of Legends right now. So definitely a strong pick that they can choose.
Another pick I would like to see out of EXE is like Aatrox on Bearson. He's been on tank duty, I'm pretty sure, for most of his games, and I would really like to see him back on a carry because that's really when he like shined on FN Season 1.
Okay. Yeah. Now, not to say anything against tanks. I mean, Ornn is invincible. He's the greatest champion ever, and he is the most contested pick in EGL in this season so far. So.
Okay, why? I wonder if there's something about that champion that he's highly contested.
Assassin, tank, support, mage, something, yada yada.
It's pretty weird.
So, okay, what about FLM? What do we expect out of that?
I don't really know any of their power picks because it's really hard to see, but I know Gilio plays a lot of weird stuff top lane that, like, he's played Swain top, he's played Silas top. I looked at his op.gg and he had like Camille as his most played, but I don't think we've ever actually seen it in the circuit. So maybe we could see that today.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Have we seen Camille in the circuit at all yet so far?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So it'd be interesting to see that because it is seeing a lot of play competitively at the professional level. So obviously, it's a strong champion. And then Swain, you mentioned Swain. Isn't that Swain the highest win rate character in the circuit right now? I thought I saw something on Discord. Swain is one of the strongest champions performance-wise.
What's its win percentage?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think it's undefeated. I think
but
someone lost on it.
Yeah, and usually it's a support pick, right? It's kind of an unconventional mage support, but people kind of forget that it can also go mid or top. It can be a solo lane.
Vindy also played at AD carry. It's been played pretty much everywhere.
Yes.
I don't think it's actually been played mid yet.
But it can go in those other roles as well. So that's a champion to look for. Trick Nick GG, known for his Kha'Zix play, often banned because of his focus on that character.
Yeah, I expect Kha'Zix and probably Ari to be banned for both games, if not all three. I don't really know where draft is going today.
And it will be helpful once we get one game in. Then we can
kind of build off of that.
Yeah,
but
Swain is 4-0 at 100% win rate. So there we go.
Do you want to do the coin flip now?
Yeah. Why don't you do the honors?
All right. You want to pick who's which side of the coin?
Let's give EXE heads.
And it is tails.
All right. So side selection will go to FLM for game 1. All right, so they have side selection, correct? So they may decide to go red, they may decide to go blue.
That's what side selection is.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
thanks. Okay, all right. Everyone make fun of Alex now, but we've seen teams select on purpose blue or and red. It's not like there's a clear preference one way or the other.
Yeah. It depends on if that team has a good power pick in mind that they want to go through. Like, I know our team will go for Hecarim a lot, or some flex like Syndra is usually what teams will go on blue side. And if they really want the Syndra pick, they'll pick blue. But then if they don't really care about, or if they don't have that power pick, they'll go for the red side and try and get a counter pick to one of the lanes that they want to play through.
Right. Yeah. So if you're so the general pattern is you pick the bot lane and the jungle in the first phase, and then save counter picks, any counter picks you have for the solo lanes, and you can use the second ban phase to try to restrict the opponent's choices. So if you're a team that focuses on your solo laners, like I would argue EXE is,
Yep.
then you would actually want red side, because then you can save your counter pick for a mid or top laner.
Hmm.
Whereas if you're a team that focuses more on the bot half the map, then you might prefer blue side.
Yep, and it looks like FLM chose blue side for this first game. So maybe
Okay.
they have this pick in mind that they want to like flex, or that is just really strong that they want to grab for themselves.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense to me. Okay. So we talked a bit about the players. We talked a little bit about the champions. Which team do you think plays better in the early game or in the mid game or late game? Do you think one side favors, a certain style of play?
I think EXE is probably just the better team right now.
Okay.
I don't know what time FLM really shows up. Maybe they're
Okay,
like
well.
this insane late game team, and they just haven't gotten to insane late game yet.
Yeah,
but
because we did see some games where a team would really stomp for 20 minutes and then they'd still struggle to close out the game.
Mhm.
I don't expect to see something like that in this matchup. I would expect the game to follow a more steady course towards the team that is ahead closing out. But
yeah, I
we'll have
think
to
there
see.
was some potential in FLM though, because I remember Gilio getting leads in the games, but like it wasn't a big enough lead to actually impact everything. So like there is potential on the team to get a lead. I just don't know if EXE is going to let them, because I
Right,
feel like
yeah.
EXE is a really solid team, and FLM still has a lot of stuff that they have to work out in order to get to that level.
Yes. Rooting for them today. Want to see some
You want to see an
good
upset?
League of Legends today. I always want to see more games. I never
That
want to
is
see
true.
I never want to see just a total blowout 2-0. Always here for more League of Legends.
Do you know any other champions that Hyperion plays? I don't actually remember what he's played so far.
I think we've seen him on Caitlyn, and I could be wrong, but I think I recall him playing Caitlyn and Senna as well.
Okay, so then they probably have very similar play styles. But I do know really popular picks right now are like Ashe and Jhin. I don't really know if either of them play them, but like those are they're pretty good weak side picks because they have crowd control for everywhere else on the team, and like they really can like impact the map without a gold lead, just based on like what their like kit is.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I think it sounds like the bot lane style is similar. We don't see any crazy stuff like Norax, who only plays
Yeah.
rage supports and just tries to poke the enemy all day. It should be a relatively similar matchup down there. It's just who executes better. And in the end, it really is always about who executes better. But
I think the biggest pick for bot lane in the draft right now is probably Lulu. Actually, I think Lulu is disgusting. Does everything pretty much,
yeah,
and it just does way too much right
it seems
now.
to do
It's
everything. Yes.
just too good of a pick to not pass. I expect it to be in the first round picked every time.
Yes, I
either
agree.
first pick overall or team 2 picking it
Yeah.
in their first spot. So
Yeah, the way that champion is performing lately, it's hard to pass that up.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised to see it go all the way through.
you know
draft.
it's good when people are playing it just top lane as a support in Worlds.
Yeah.
That's how you know
Yeah.
a support is good, is when it's so good they'll even just into the lane to have it on their team.
Yeah, they'll just throw it anywhere as long as we've got it on our
Yeah,
team.
as long as we got the Lulu, it's fine.
Right. And that's the. I think you're right. That's the sign when a champion is just overpoweringly strong is when it can just get picked anywhere. We saw it like with Set.
Yep.
Set top, Set jungle,
Set mid, set
bottom.
support.
It's everywhere.
Fasting Senna
just-
with Set 80 carry. They
Yeah.
did everything,
Yeah.
right?
It's just
Lulu's not quite at that level, but
yeah,
it's up
maybe
there.
not. Yeah, maybe not quite there, but definitely strong. We mentioned Hecarim as being something that's very strong in the jungle. That's definitely first pickable on blue side.
So is Lilia. I don't know if
Lilia also
I've seen
very
either of
strong.
them play it, but it's definitely up there.
Yep, the sleeps, they're so long. You can get them on, just throw a swirl seed. If it doesn't hit, whatever, it's up in 10 seconds. But if it does hit, then you can get a huge sleep and just create a massive fight off of that. So yeah, definitely a strong pick as well. Either one in the jungle. As far as the mid lane, we don't see that level of dominance from any one champion. We've seen Orianna, we've seen
Syndra,
just-
Gorky.
Yeah, that's been kind of the bread and butter, is just kind of control mages.
We do see Lucian every once in a while, but that's
Yes.
probably the only aggressive pick we've actually seen pulled out. But here we go
Yeah.
into champion select, and immediately is the
Yeah,
Kha'Zix ban. Is anyone
go.
surprised? I don't think so.
Yeah. Yep, Tricknix just snaps his fingers. Rats, I don't get to play the Kha'Zix today.
And they decide to ban the Lucian. They say, let's just get a scaling mid. We're just gonna protect Patty, keep that KDA perfect.
Follow up with the Nautilus ban. It's a targeted at Capel there. EXE would respond with Morgana.
Morgana makes it seem like they want to play an aggressive bot lane and try
Yeah.
and get a lead there.
It does. It's a common, preemptive,
Yeah.
you know.
So if you're gonna ban the Morgana, you might want to actually ban the Lulu here, because otherwise
Possibly, yeah.
that'll shut down the aggressive bot lane.
And we actually see a blue side Samira ban, which is interesting because usually, at least in the past, Samira has been strong enough to
Just
threat-
first pick
yeah,
right away.
threaten it on
Yep.
the blue side. It did get nerfed, but it's still something I guess that FLM doesn't want to play against, and they're also not planning on playing it themselves. They first pick Ornn, and those might be related because Samira can use her W to block the Ornn ult, so it might just be something where it's like we're planning on picking Ornn, and we know that might really screw us up, when it comes time to try to start fights. So
And so, like we said, with the Morgana ban, it really implies you want to play something aggressive, so they end up picking the Leona,
yep,
because you can't play Leona if Morgana's open,
right.
because it just destroys the whole champion.
Yeah, hard to find something more aggressive than Leona.
Yep.
That's
And they could just match this with a Caitlyn right away. Leona Caitlyn seems like a pretty good lane.
yep,
You can combo it into trap.
and there you have it.
Yep.
Right off the script, right off the script, right?
Yeah,
Tom?
yeah. Vindy said I don't like surprises, and so I got the script beforehand. I read it. I just don't want.
Yeah.
I just don't like them. I'd like to see everything coming.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so it will be Senna as the reply to the Caitlyn. We mentioned those two champions for both bot laners, so it's no surprise to see them facing off against one another. And
I would like to see the Lulu paired with the Senna as well, or maybe the Tom Kench, just to make it so you never die in that lane.
yes, you definitely need a defensive support to try to help the Senna survive. What do you expect to happen in a Senna versus Caitlyn matchup? Does the Caitlyn really bully really hard at early game?
Yeah, so the biggest problem with Senna is how slow her attack speed is. And so even though her attack range is closer to Caitlyn than normal, you get two or three autos off for each. I don't know what the attack speed is, but you probably get 3 autos for every 2 or something.
Oh no, it's the Master Yi being hovered. I think they're just torturing me, but they're okay.
I'm not really sure if I like the Soraka pick though, unless it's going mid lane.
Yeah, they will be Soraka. So Lulu totally left up.
Yeah, but being able so Senna is very safe against Leona with how far back she plays, but if the Soraka ever gets caught, it's gonna be really hard for her not to die.
Yeah, you have to play very carefully from the Soraka in this position because they definitely do have the kill threat with Leona to kill her. And then the Mordekaiser is a logical counter to Ornn. He's pretty strong against tanks with his passive, so not a huge surprise there to see that locked in. And in the
Not the
second phase,
Poppy counter pick that you like to go for.
well,
but
yeah, Poppy's really good too, but Mordekaiser works as well. And in the second phase of bans, it's mid laners each side, Ahri and Syndra banned, both champions we were talking about before. EXE also throwing in a Zac ban.
do you think they ban
It's
like either
Paddy.
Lux or Nico here and try and force Paddy onto the other one, or are they just gonna give Paddy his choice?
I would expect another mid lane ban. Yeah, and
I guess they
there's
banned Lissandra. That's when they're worried about the most. But
Yeah.
I guess now we can say, do you think Paddy will play Lux or Nico? Which one do you think it'll be?
I don't know. It's actually been a while since we've seen either of those.
I don't think we've
I would
actually
see-
seen him pull out Nico on
Yeah.
this on the.
Are they gonna lock in the Alawi? No, they won't.
Oh, they pull out the Echo. I did
Echo
ask
jungle.
him to pull it out because
Do you think
I've
that's
been-
jungle?
I think it has to
Okay.
be. I don't think Paddy plays it.
Yeah, it would certainly have been news to
It
me.
doesn't seem like his kind of champion, but
Okay, so now we're getting the last two picks for FLM to round out their team comp. Sejuani locked in. So far they have a pretty low damage composition.
yeah, they needed
from the
this
mid lane,
Corki to
they'll-
just
yep.
come in and deal all the damage. Like Corki will be their only damage pretty much late game. Senna does do a little bit here and there, but like she's not a
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah, so
So like this is a really low damage team comp from FLM.
they certainly needed something like the Corki from mid lane to provide the damage. Again with the Alawi hover, and it will
Paddy's
be Yone.
He's been practicing
Oh my
that for a
gosh.
while now.
This is the first time we've seen it in this circuit, right? A Yone actually
I
locked
think so,
in.
yeah.
So this will be really interesting. Picked it last pick red side into the Corki.
I mean, all it takes is for the Echo and the Yone to get onto the Corki, and then they pretty much win because they'll have no more damage. But
Yes.
then again, there is Ornn, who does as much damage as you ever need, and and Ornn will just have to 1v5.
Yeah, this game is going to be the story of trying to assassinate Corki with the Yone and the Echo, while Mordekaiser tries to stall the tanks. Or he can also has the option to put the Soraka in the death realm so she can't heal anyone and interfere. So, but the real story here from Champ Select is it's the Corki show for FLM. They're putting their faith in the Crunk to carry them this game.
Yep. And it's the Yone Echo on the other side. I guess Leona getting onto the backline too could really help, but
Yeah, really melee heavy composition, 4 melee champions and a Caitlyn. They really need to get on top of their opponents, and so Senna, Soraka might be a little bit difficult to get on top of. They'll have to use the Leona ultimate well in order to get on top of those squishy, annoying ranged champions so that your melees can kill them.
do you think Senna or Soraka will take cleanse? Do you think they take cleanse heal or barrier heal here?
In this game, it's kind of a toss-up, right? So if it were Ashe Leona, I'd say yes, absolutely. You need someone to have cleanse. And you'd probably put it on the Senna and put heal on the Soraka, right? With Leona, it's kind of a toss-up. You could choose to really respect the pick and take cleanse, or you might decide, it's just that one engage tool. It's pretty telegraphed. It's not instantaneous. We can get away without it and use, a higher value summoner. So it could go either way.
Based on these comps, who do you think is going to win?
I would have to give it to EXE. I think it's risky to put all your eggs in one basket in any case. And in this game, all of the eggs are in Corki's basket. So they really need him to have enough gold, get the items to actually do enough damage to carry their entire team. So whereas EXE, they have multiple threats. They have the Yone, the Caitlyn, the Echo, the Mordekaiser. Everyone does some damage. And so that seems to me to be more reliable.
I think this Echo needs to really get stuff done early game to actually matter in this game. So I think that is where we have to look. And
Yeah.
based on where all the lanes are, where can the Echo gank? It's actually really like if the Senna and Soraka are playing really passive and just letting like the Caitlyn get as much farm and just like playing on a tower, you can't really do anything
Yeah, it's
to that.
really hard to actually.
And like
finish
so,
them.
you can't really gank the Corki because he has Valkyrie, and then you have to gank Ornn. I mean, like
yeah,
it
good
is.
luck. You know?
The problem with that though is you have double AP topside with the so
Right.
he's just gonna build his
Yeah, he's gonna have a Negatron cloak, and
he'll
it's gonna be hard to
be able to
finish
just
it.
walk it out.
Yeah, so if you are playing the Echo jungle in this case, that's where you can just bully the Sejuani. You could just go into the jungle and try to get a 1v1 against your opponent rather than try to influence the lanes. Or you could look for an actual dive, like a 4-man dive bot lane.
Mhm.
You obviously excel at that because you can escape from a
Yeah,
dive that's
once
not
he
going
hits
well
six,
with
but-
6, and he throws down the big parallel convergence stun. He sets up dives reasonably well.
But
But do you have enough damage to finish the Senna Soraka, who are probably taking defensive summoners? We're going to see in a second. Yes. It would be the heal on Hyperion Senna and barrier for Storyteller's Soraka.
So it is also Dark Harvest Echo, which is a scaling build.
yes.
But it's something along the lines of like you need, I think it was like 9 Dark Harvest stacks on AP champions to deal as much damage as Electrocute.
Oh,
What?
that's the break-even point?
That's like the break-even point, I think. And I
Okay.
think, or it was either 9 or 11, and
Okay.
one of them's for like AP, one's for AD, depending on like
Okay.
what level you are.
That sounds like a pretty high number.
It,
you
yeah,
know,
it,
to
like
try to stack up
it's
that
pretty
many.
hard to get that far, especially especially with like how many like who are they gonna gank? I feel like if there was an easier lane to gank, you could really start getting those Dark Harvest stacks early.
Right.
But I think you probably want to just take Electrocute this game and be so that you have your impact earlier on.
Yeah, true. We do see Ignite being taken on the Yone from Padawan Tando. Really aggressive choice there. He wants to try to get solo kill pressure on the Crunk, stop the Corki from farming, so that he never scales into that monster that we've seen in the past, where Corki just takes over and kills everybody. It does mean that if he is harassed out in that melee versus ranged matchup, he can't just teleport back. There's no get out of jail free card to get back to your lane and not miss farm. So it's a higher risk, high reward choice there.
And it is a Conqueror Yone. I was talking to Patty and Unlimited Ninja the other day, who also plays Yone a lot, and we were trying to convince him that it is 100% better to go Fleet Footwork than Conqueror, because
Okay.
unlike Yasuo, you don't have the consistent shield. You have to like time your shield right, and it's
Right.
on a cooldown for a longer time, and you just need the more sustain to get in lane because of that. And he disagreed. He still thinks Conqueror is the way to go.
Yeah, well, and it
But
makes sense.
into this team comp with multiple tanks, maybe it
Yeah.
is the way to go. But
yeah.
it's
certainly
it's
isn't
really
gonna-
gonna make his laning phase a lot
yeah, you
more
can see
difficult.
It's
Yeah.
not going to do him any favors here when Krunk's past his minion wave, just pushing him off farm. So, but you're right, it does have extreme value if you're just wailing away on Orange Sejuani. You need every...
Yeah, so even with the Ignite, I'm not sure how much kill pressure he actually has on the Corki, who's going to be getting all this health back from Fleet Footwork.
Yep, from Fleet. He's got the
And he's got
corrupted
the corrupting potion as well.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just going to be really hard for the Yone to just get on the Corki
Yeah.
and then push him out.
Yeah, so that's definitely a lane in the early game that EXE is going to struggle with. The bot lane should be fine with Caitlyn. It's very hard to put any kind of pressure on Caitlyn, as EXE hit level 2 and go right in onto Hyperion. Trap won't quite root, but they get really good damage just off
That's
of a
the-
level 2 spike.
The classic level 2 cheese that I love doing.
Yeah, it's really simple. You kill those 3 melee minions, and Leona's just set to go immediately.
I
Zeus
wonder if it
blade
was
on.
possible when the Leona queued if Solo Mason had flashed forward and put the trap down, so because he kind of didn't have the time to do it.
It's true, but
He
do they
may
really
have
have
been
the
able
damage?
to got the kill. I mean, the trap does a lot of damage. They're level 1, and then you get the ignite on them.
Oh, another Zenith play. Aggressive play from the EXE bottom lane here, as they're struggling to put really anything back on the capo. But Soraka heals right back up. You've got good sustain.
Yeah, we need to see the Caitlyn stepping up farther in the lane to be able to actually follow up on these engages. She's not in range to get the trap down to actually make these trades worthwhile for their team.
Okay, so both junglers gone for 4 camp into Scuttle Crab on either side of the map. Pretty much a handshake between those two. They're just avoiding each other and farming up. Sejuani up towards the top side, Echo down towards the bottom. Oh, there might be a gank down here. Flash Zenith Blade flashed away from by Storyteller, and they won't be able to really kill him. But Tricknick burning some summoners for his bottom lane.
Burning
Solo Mason
both
dropping
flashes,
pretty
actually.
Low. They will escape with a summoner lead there. It's Bearson just poking out Gilio a little bit.
But we see Pai heading maybe into the enemy jungle, but turning around as he sees Padawan going in.
Oh, he's got to go back to the clone there. Very easy for a jungler to just kind of camp there and wait for you to port back. So we've seen repeated attempts from EXE to punish the bot lane with the Soraka Senna, and it hasn't really worked. They've gotten the summoners from a visit from Echo, but if you look at the health bars, FLM is looking really healthy. They're fine. They haven't given up a farm lead. They haven't really been under any pressure of being killed. So if you're FLM, you're like, it's not too bad. Yes, they've burned some of the resources, but we've been surviving.
Might actually go for a dive here.
Yeah, Gilio looking a little bit low.
I would like to see the Echo come up and try and dive this orange. Get Gilio get Bearson really snowballing this lane.
He does have to walk over the Scuttle Crab, which may have just expired. But he will at least stop Gilio's recall. They might look for the dive as the wave approaches here. Do they have enough damage to kill him? Gilio has flash, has the Searing Charge, but it won't quite be enough. Will he trade? He will trade 1 kill. Back on the
played by
by the way, solo kill from Padawantano onto the Crunk there at level 6. Potent all in from the Yone. So all of a sudden, 5 minutes, the kills start rolling in. It's 2-1. It's all of a sudden.
That must have been that Conqueror coming through.
Gilio looking for a trade onto Bearson, gets put into the Death Realm, uses the Call of the Forge God in the Death Realm to try to trade it back onto Bearson, loses a lot of HP, and isn't able to really win that trade. So Bearson will be able to
recall and TP back in, while the Orin just TP back. Not really the trade you were looking for from Gilio there.
He will be lower health, and Bearson might decide just not to teleport at all to save that summoner for a later dragon fight. No, he won't. He'll just go right ahead and teleport. He'll try to get that wave frozen.
And with the Orin recalling, he might be able to push that up and get a plate, or he could try and freeze and really get this lead snowballing.
Yeah. All right, so Tricknick clearing a control ward that was on the dragon. He's kind of getting collapsed on, but Padawan comes down and they'll be able to chase Crunk away. So EXE has full control of this bot lane river with the dragon. They also have an advantage in the bottom lane. They've pushed that in so that
the bot lane can roam up, and now they can just get this dragon, and there's going to be no contest because it's really hard to.
Yep, really nice, simple play there.
We also see the Sheen first on Corki, so probably not going to tier this game.
Oh yeah, good catch.
So just trying to get his power spike a little bit earlier because he knows that he's going to be most of the damage. He doesn't want to waste or doesn't want to make the team have to wait for 30 minutes before he's actually able to do damage.
Yeah. Interestingly, the Crunk still has flash, which means that he died earlier without using it. which is either a misplay or a really smart mind game to try and hang on to that for later. But I would generally say that if you have your flash, you should be able to use it instead of dying.
I don't think we really saw the kill, but both of Patty's are down. He probably just like flash auto queued, and then that was probably enough to actually kill him.
Right, and if all of a sudden you realize, oh, this ignite's going to finish me off, why waste the summon?
Yeah.
So, kind of a shame we didn't see more about that, but it does mean that Padawantano doesn't have more kill threat immediately.
Gilio putting a lot of damage onto Bearson here.
Yeah, yeah. The Ornn, he's got the catalysts completed, so he can kind of scrap with the Mordekaiser here. Extended trades will favor Mordekaiser, but Ornn, even if he gets killed, and in this case he even got a trade kill, he'll be okay. He scales really strongly. It's hard to punish an Ornn to the point where he can't.
Now we see the junglers hitting 6. Now we really want to see like where they're gonna go, put their pressure, because the Sejuani hasn't really done much. Actually, the Sejuani burned the flash mid, so that's not how Patty got the kill. He didn't flash onto them because his flash was actually down.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The flash was already down the mid lane.
So, yeah, I wish I
I
we could have.
I wish speculate more.
Wish we could have seen how the kill actually happened.
Oh, Death's Grasp kind of pulls Gilio out of his charge and into the wall.
Tricknick should be able to actually get this without dying because he has his ult now.
They're looking to punish more onto Gilio as he's low health under this tower. Oh, the Death Realm stopped the redirect of the Forge God there. Pretty good timing from Bearson, just to make sure Tricknick doesn't get knocked up under the tower and die before he can port back.
So because they know that the jungler's top lane, we should really see Pai try and get something bot side, but he's just on his Krugs instead.
Yeah, so EXE, they still have full vision control down here. They don't know exactly where Sejuani is, but they know where she isn't. They know that you can't get around behind them. Capel walking up for that control ward might be punished, but Hyperion takes so much damage from Solo Mason there that it's hard to look for anything as the Sejuani.
Also, they must have been able to dive the Ornn before Soraka actually hit 6, because she's 6 now and still has her ult. So that was a really
good timing,
clutch gank to get that in right before that even happens.
Because if a Wish comes down and heals Ornn for 400 HP, then that dive looks a lot scarier.
Unless that's also why Bearson can just ult and make it so that he can't get the Wish off. So just maybe even better played by Bearson than we realized at first.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he's looking pretty good here. He's got his Leandri's Torment already completed, so Ornn won't be able to really tank him for very long. And we've seen pretty good plays from him that allow Tricknick GG to come up and punish Gilio, who's kind of just been left to suffer under his tower there, getting just
Yeah, so Patty got the solo kill, but he's down almost 30 CS from the Corgis, so the Corgis not actually feeling too bad about it. I'd like to see how much gold they're at, because Echo has his completed jungle item, and Sejuani is just doesn't have hers completed yet. She probably just has to with 1600. I think she has enough for Cinderhulk with the items she has in her inventory. So we should really start to see her recall and get that.
Yeah. EXE just pick up an uncontested Rift Herald. They're doing a really good job getting all the objectives. Turrets are all still standing, but they've got 2 plates off the top lane. Oh wait, excuse me. FLM secured the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and so we see the Sejuani dying super fast here, and it's because he just hasn't recalled to get his items. He has so many stats just in base, but they got the Rift and they wanted to drop it right away, and it really punishes him for not.
Yeah, and good on Capwell for roaming right up there and engaging that fight, understanding that what FLM were planning to do there. They got the Rift Herald and they kind of got overexcited to use it right away because they knew they're kind of losing this early game. They're down a dragon, they're down a couple kills, but it just costs them to be impatient.
Because there's no you have what 2 minutes to use the Rift Herald at least.
At least. I think it's even
there's
longer.
no reason to rush and get it down right away.
So far, good play from EXE. They gave over the Rift Herald, but they've got 2 dragons, and then they were able to easily punish the play mid lane with the Rift Herald, so they didn't really lose anything off of that. Gold lead slight, but it's still growing slowly, so this early game is going their way. They have to be careful about the ticking time bomb that is Corki Senna. It's going to be difficult for their composition to deal with the long-range damage from those 2 later on, but so far so good. You could also say that, of course, for the bot lane of FLM, who are just happily scaling. They're not down a whole lot there. They've, got a Mana Moon stacking on Hyperion, so they're not. Oh, I was about to say they're not under any pressure, but the moment I utter those words, Capwell goes in and says, "Alex, you need to shut up. We're gonna kill him right now." Drop everything, and he can't even flash, can't even heal.
That's why you might run the cleanse in that situation, but with your flash up, you really shouldn't be getting hit by the Leona ult there. Like, when she puts the ult on you and you're like, you're gonna hit, but you're like, you gotta give them the respect. Be like, oh, I probably shouldn't have been this far up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, or use your flash there. Just when you flash the first CC, then you're safe. But I don't think I don't think he expected the damage. I didn't. That was gonna come out from EXE's bottom lane just during that stun duration from the Solar Flame. Capwell playing really aggressive as Solar Mason's trying to recall. A little bit of miscommunication there as EXE tries to get that blue buff but won't quite be able to steal it away. But the top lane turret has fallen. Given the turret score 1-0 to EXE, adding to their
now with
list of
3,000 gold
there.
lead.
Yeah.
And when they were using the Rift Herald mid, it's really nice that the Yone got the kill, trying to really catch this Yone back up, even though they are down so much CS. But
yeah, they definitely need to support him a little bit in what I consider to be kind of a difficult matchup without any experience. I would say that the Corki is kind of difficult for the Yone to lane against. So it's nice that they're giving him some help and not allowing FLM to punish, but another Solar Flare, this time flashed away from by Hyperion. They're going to trade some damage back onto Capwell. I think they'll back off.
yeah, he should be able to just get out. There's really no damage in the bot lane right now still.
Yeah. I have to hand it to Capwell. He's been proactive and aggressive this entire game on the Leona, looking to pressure FLM. And FLM held off really well. They survived for a long time, but just trying and trying again has...
Just a couple of mistakes,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you have that lead. And once you have the lead with Leona, she's really hard to punish her for it because she gets really tanky really fast.
Yes, he certainly does. Capwell has the stopwatch as well if he were to find himself in a difficult spot. Can just go golden and survive a little bit
And
longer.
Leona's ult is on a very short cooldown, and so being able to just get the Senna flash like that, now the next time she wants, she can just go in and there's nothing the Senna can do.
The Leandries causes Bearson to take a little bit of extra tower aggro there. I think that might have been enough to call off a dive that Tricknick was looking for. But now it seems like they're looking for it again. Gilio sitting at about 500 HP, has flash, but is stunned immediately by the Parallel Convergence and taken down easily.
Yeah, and has Soraka used her ult this game? Because there's been a couple of kills, and...
Yeah, not that I have seen. Each time it's been a really quick assassination from the side of EXE, not giving enough time for the Soraka ult to be used. But you're right, good communication there maybe would have allowed that Soraka ult to give Gilio a couple more seconds and survive there.
Bearson does have ult, so he could probably just ult the Soraka.
He's on the silence. But there, he will put the Soraka in the death run, and Storyteller is like, please help me. I can't 1v1 the Mordekaiser, but uses flash,
He's got the barrier.
Still alive here. Uses the wish. Oh my gosh.
W should be back up, though.
Yep. And there's the Call of the Forge God. They're throwing everything
Yep.
and the kitchen sink at Bearson, and they will get a result. They will get a kill.
Corki showed up. He's like, give me the kill. I want him to, we got to scale, but Warren was like, nope.
Gilios, give me the gold. EXE see that the top laner is struggling against many people, and they'll trade the dragon. They're now at soul point 17 minutes into the game. So that's something that FLM has got to deal with soon, because another 5 minutes and it's an infernal soul for EXE. It's so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, they're trying to rush this Rift Herald down before they can get here, but EXE just roams. There's no flash in the Senna, lands the Leona ult and followed immediately by the Yone ultimate as well. And now with no Corki, or with no Senna, it's all on the Corki to deal all the damage.
Gerson teleporting in, is able to finish off Pi there. Gilio will also die, and EXE are on the chase. Tricknick will claim a third kill onto Storyteller just in those last few seconds there. So overall, 4 members still dead from FLM. EXE kind of running away with this one. Oh, we got a replay. The first of this game. I'm excited. All right, Solar Flare lands onto Hyperion, followed by the Zenith Blade, and Padawan finishes him off with the ultimate. Then FLM trying to retreat, and they will claim a kill on the trade kill onto Capwell on the back end there. But then Barasan teleports in, and that really swings the fight. He kills off Pi. They immediately kill Gilio. Storyteller is destroyed by Tricknick. It's just all cleanup from that point on.
Can we see how many stacks of Dark Harvest the Echo has, or is that not something we can look at? I don't know if there's any way to do it.
6.
6 stacks?
Yep,
okay.
he's got 6 Dark Harvest stacks.
So I'm pretty sure Electrocute would still be doing more damage at this point. So,
but he's got. It's hard to argue with results. You know, he got the kill onto Storyteller there. He's got a 14 stack Magi's. So I don't think he's upset about his choices.
He's still scaling at this point. He just hasn't gotten there yet.
Yep.
But
agreed. All right. So did the Rift Herald actually get taken there? Because they were
EXE got the Rift Herald.
They did. Okay.
Yep.
Who has it?
They had it on Trickneck, but he must have dropped it when we were in the replay.
Oh. Well, EXE still has all their towers, so hard to say they found any success. Okay. That's now 2 Rift Heralds mid lane, I'm told. And they still haven't killed the tower. So really disappointing.
Yeah, they killed the first tower. It's just tier 2's up now. Tier 2's at like no HP.
Of EXE's mid lane?
No, EXE got the Rift.
Oh, EXE. Oh. Okay, understood.
Yeah,
so,
EXE stole the Rift mid-fight.
So they stole the Rift Herald during
then dropped
the fight
it mid lane, got tier 1,
okay.
and then got another charge on tier 2.
Okay, I'm blind. Understood.
Yeah.
A little bit of trading going on in the bot lane. But the gold lead extending even further. It's now at 6,000. And if you're EXE, I would. You're really happy. You're thinking, oh well. We've got another dragon coming up in a couple minutes. We've gotten all of the previous dragons. We have a lead, and in the last team fight, we easily won. So we don't really need to do anything.
We see like a 2,000 gold lead top, a 1,000 gold lead at both, and all the other positions in jungle and bot lane. Mid is a bit more even, but it's still a 500 gold lead for Paddy, which is not what you want to see when your only damage is going to be at that mid lane Corki. You want to see him with a lot more gold than what he has. But let's see what FLM can do. See if they can bring it back.
Yeah, and it's going to be at the dragon. That's really the only place where you're justified in taking a fight. If you're FLM, you need to get the Corki package and the Orin ult and the Sejuani ult, all mix it all together at a dragon fight. And if you execute it well, then they could easily win a fight. It's they're not out of it yet because their comp is so good at team fighting. But that's your last chance. You have to fight at that Infernal Dragon.
Another big problem, though, is both Yone and Caitlyn both have Executioners already, which is one of the biggest problems with the Soraka pick, is one item that costs only 800 kind of destroys everything that you do, which is why the Lulu would have probably been better, but...
Yeah, I mean,
I
think the Soraka fulfilled her purpose in the laning phase of, resisting the Caitlyn harass, but it's not a proactive pick, and like you mentioned earlier, the Wish maybe needed to be used more to rescue Gilio when he's being dove top lane. It hasn't been, a silver bullet for winning this game. So perhaps Lulu would have been better, and maybe we won't see it go all the way through the draft next
It's going to be so hard for FLM to actually get to this dragon with the Caitlyn setting up the traps.
Yeah.
And even it's not even going to be a smite
Oh,
fight.
Solar Flare. But it doesn't get any stuns. Capital into the back with his Gargoyle Stoneplate, really tanky, but the Ornn ult not able to be redirected because of the Death Realm. Crunk backing away. FLM going to kite back and then turn back onto the Mordekaiser. No one has died yet in this exchange, but focuses on the dragon. EXE trying to get the soul, and FLM trying to deny it. Padawan will secure the Infernal Soul for EXE, and now this fight just got so much harder. Now, they're going in. FLM walked too far up the river, and now they are retreating. Crunk's still at full HP, but no one blocks the ace in the hole for Pai, so he goes down. Gilio looking to be next here. Manages to limp away at 0 HP, but man, FLM, now they're in real trouble.
I thought that was really well played from FLM. I think EXE should have just started the Baron or the Dragon and let them come to them, because it's really hard for the Senna and the Soraka to actually engage. And you need to force the EXE member, or the FLM members, to walk through those Caitlyn traps that you set up.
Right.
And then even if the Sejuani comes into the pit for a smite fight, you have the Mordekaiser ult to take her out.
Right,
So
absolutely.
maybe not flawless execution from EXE, but with that like 7,000 Goldie that they have, they're able to just survive the first initial burst and then just re-engage later and finish up the team fight.
Yeah, and if you're a storyteller and Pai is standing right next to you about to eat an ace in the hole and die, you should walk in front of it and block it. I think he even had barrier, so there's no reason for him to be worried. It's possible he thought it was going to hit him already, but kind of unfortunate that they lose so many members on the retreat there, even after they lost the Infernal Soul. Just adds insult to injury.
It was an early smite from the Echo, and it
Yeah.
was picked up by none other than Hattie himself.
Yes. Yeah.
What does this man not do?
Yes, he secures dragons. He plays the Yone for the first time. Oh, Tripnik gonna escape no problem there.
They're still
Solar
chasing
Flare
really
actually
hard.
used onto the Sejuani, but the passive prevents any slows, so nothing really going to happen there. So it looks like the lane assignments for EXE, it's going to be a 4-1 with Mordekaiser splitting against the Ornn. Pretty wise choice there. Caitlyn excels in these kind of sieges, and Mordekaiser has the pressure that all the pressure he needs in that Ornn matchup right now. So all they have to really do mid lane is just keep the wave nearby.
Yeah, and you see the line of Caitlyn traps in the bottom side jungle right there to prevent any flank from anyone. Like if the Sejuani was to gank there, she'd have to walk through a trap and then take a headshot crit to the face.
Yeah.
And no one wants that at this point. The
Yeah.
Caitlyn's going to be hurting a lot, especially with Infernal Soul.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get on top of the Caitlyn at this point in the game. It's got to be an Ornn ultimate into follow-up CC from Sejuani if they want to get that kill. But it's so hard to do that because of the Mordekaiser ult. The Ornn ult has been repeatedly blocked by Bersan just using his ultimate there. So it's pretty difficult if you're FLM from this position in the game. It's not all the way over, but it's going to be hard. Ornn items going to be available starting one more level away, so that's something to look forward to if you're FLM. You've got a Senna scaling up infinitely.
With the tier done
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know when
good
that was
point.
finished, but
Yeah, you get the more mana there. So it's not all gloom and doom, but the gold lead is substantial, and it's an Infernal Soul. Okay, so they've switched. So this is interesting. EXE has switched their lane assignments. They've went from 4-1 mid-bottom to a 3-1-1. Kind of an unconventional strategy where they go the Yone mid, the Mordekaiser bottom, and then the remaining three members pushing top. They just try to split up FLM even more to try and chip down these outer turrets.
Mordekaiser could just look for the ult here,
Yeah.
and just chase down the Ornn at this point. But missing all of his abilities,
Yeah, Gilio hanging
but
in there in
still
the death
winning
realm.
the fight. And here comes the Yone to help with the Sejuani now.
Call to Forge he waited on that ability through the entire death realm because he knew it was going to get interrupted, but Padawan will still kill Pai, and now Bersan's
Still
refusing to
alive.
go down. Stays alive through that whole fight, and now it's 2 members down for FLM. EXE looking to close it out right here. Crunk. Oh, that was close. Barasan taking some poke, takes the Senna ult, but he limps away once more.
Oh, and here comes the
going
package. Package is so much damage,
in.
but
Nick trying to chase him down and will destroy him. Oh my gosh, so much damage. 24 stack Majai's there. Double kill for Solo Mason. He's icing on the cake. And they're going to close it out right here. EXE, a pretty clean game, start to finish. All 4 dragons, 10 turrets to 0, 17 kills to 3, and they'll win it 28 minutes in.
yep, very well played from EXE, but I don't know I don't know what to pull out for FLM to really turn this around. But
Yeah, I think, and this is something we mentioned in the draft, I think they need their damage to be more
more spread out.
More spread out. They put all the eggs in the Corki basket, and as a result, they don't have enough damage to compete in the team fights. The Senna Soraka did a great job of surviving early laning phase, but failed to really do much damage to EXE later on in the game. So it's possible you need a more aggressive pick in the jungle, or top lane as well to try and get some more damage. Looking at the damage chart, it's actually Mordekaiser doing the most in the whole game.
He's just up there like hitting on Ornn. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna take a little bit of a break and then be back in 10 minutes? So 5 minutes? Right. So
Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you don't really need my Cause you don't really need my
All right, everyone, welcome back. We're gearing up, getting ready for Game 2 between EXE and FLM, and the sides have reversed.
Yep, we have FLM now picking red side. What do you expect to be different in Champ Select now?
Well, because FLM has side selection as the loser, that means they've elected red side this time instead of blue side. So I think their strategy is going to change. I think last time they early picked champions towards the bot side of the map, and because they've as blue side, and now with red side, they're more focused on the solo lanes in the second half of the draft when you can counter pick.
Yeah.
So that speaks to me that they might look for something more aggressive than the Ornn in the top lane. They might look for better counter matchups in their solo lanes this game versus last time when, that Yone in the last pick slot might have surprised them.
Definitely was not expected for most people, but do you think it now gets banned now that it's been played?
It's possible. I don't expect it. I think if you're FLM and you're looking at the way the game progressed last time, I don't think you're looking at Yone and thinking that was impossible for us to play against. I think the Crunk did a good job kind of bullying Padawan Tano in lane with the Corki. And then in the later stages of the game, the package did have substantial value. I mean, I don't think if you're looking at that last game, Yone was the problem. I think you're looking more at the Leona that constantly engaging on you, the Mordekaiser who's building your top lane, and the Echo who's diving turrets.
Okay, that's fair. So you think probably focus more on your bot lane this time, or
Yeah, and I think they need, and we've said this before, they need more damage than just a mid lane.
Yeah. So I would think something along the lines of Ashe probably bot lane. Otherwise, Ezreal's always really safe, does more damage than the Senna. That could really work into the Leona as well, where we could see Ezreal Yuumi. But also, I gotta say it again, but the Lulu would really, it's just really good.
Yeah, we talked about before the game, we didn't expect it to get all the way through a draft phase, and immediately, first game, it did. It went all the way through, and no one prioritized it. That might change. It fits pretty well as a substitute to something like the Soraka.
Yeah, we'll see if they still feel comfortable with the Soraka in that situation. But I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a little bit stronger against a heavy engage champion like the Leona, because you have a little bit more immediate defensive tools with the polymorph, with the ultimate giving extra HP and a shield as well. It's a little bit more proactive a champion.
I would hope maybe Gileo will now try and pull out something other than a tank, because they were so low damage. Maybe pull out the Swain, because I know the Sylas was banned, but some other pick that you can bully top lane and have another win come through. If you are going to go with another Senna bot lane, you need... it is nice to have frontline for it, but you also need a frontline that does damage. I think Hecarim goes really well with it, or an Aatrox or something. But
yeah, they certainly need.
Because Senna's not really a carry at that point, so you need to bring physical damage from somewhere else.
Right, understood. Yeah, I agree. I would be interested to see where they decide to put more resources. Because last game it was all about Corki. This game they may decide to diversify their investments a little bit more.
I'd like to see Pai put some more pressure somewhere else on the map too, because I think he only had the one gank mid, and that was pretty much all he did for the most of the game. I'd like to see him move around, actually get some ganks off, and try and put pressure somewhere else.
Yeah, and the Sejuani is something we haven't seen very much lately. I think part of the reason we don't see it as frequently nowadays is because isn't as strong early game, clearing the jungle and with the early ganks, and we might have just seen the gold league grow too much too quickly for that pick to provide value.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll choose a different champion.
I think Pai plays Nunu. I think that's one of his junglers that he plays. I feel like that would have done really well. You can just roll the snowball in.
Yeah, certainly something that's been kind of popular lately is that Nunu jungle. Surprisingly potent ganks, really difficult to kill, excellent objective control.
Yep. So I would like to see that probably brought out from Pai this game rather than the Sejuani, who's more of like a late game scaling tank. Try and get more pressure in. All right,
Yeah,
so we're hopping
I agree.
into Champ Select. Probably most of the same bands from EXE with what do they ban? Silas and Lucian.
Silas, yep.
Yep.
All right, again, the Nautilus ban against Capwell. I will be interested to see if they add the Leona ban as well.
Yep. With the Morgana ban still, it makes it seem like they should.
Okay, they will decide on the Echo against Tricknick GG. So far, FLM has left the Kazakhs ban. The Kazakhs.
Yep.
up.
So now they have to choose between Leona or Kazakhs
Right.
here.
Last time they banned
They
it.
go with
Okay, it will be
Ornn
left up.
instead.
So, what is EXE's first pick going to be? I would expect Kazakhs.
I feel you can just kind of leave that open though, because I don't really expect Pai to pick it up for himself. So you can pick that and get the
True.
Samira here.
Yeah, they will lock in the Samira. Last time we saw it banned on red side, or I mean, banned on blue side. This time, not the case. Going to be picked first. For Solo Mason, FLM will reply with Syndra. Pretty standard mid laner that we've seen many times so far this season.
I think it's also one of the Crunk's most played, if I recall when I was looking at it earlier. So just a really strong early game champion if they go with the Ludens, but it could also scale if they do the tier, which is what Burn Victim does, which pisses me off because he does it every game.
We're not here
but
to flame people. Super
That's okay.
Okay,
And
Warwick.
another one of
Interesting.
his most played jungles, but I think the Nunu is probably better in a setting like this. But hopefully he can get some nice ganks off, and
Yeah, it is more aggressive than the
Sejuani is.
Sejuani. So
And it brings
checks
more
that
damage
box.
for if a Senna does come out still.
okay, that is one aggressive bot lane that has been selected by EXE. Last time it was the Caitlyn Leona, now it's Samira Leona, which is just that much more aggressive and dangerous if you're FLM. Be interesting to see what FLM decides to do as a response. Kazakhs
Yep,
locked
there's the
in for
Kazakhs. We
Tricknick,
just
yeah.
saw that one coming from. I don't want to see the
Ooh,
Zyra.
the Zyra.
Oh,
And it's
no.
locked in.
It's.
I know it's an interesting. I
It
like the
has
concept.
potential, but unfortunately, she's like one of the squishiest champions in the game. So if she
Yeah.
does ever get hit by Zenith Blade, she will
Just
die.
instantly die. Yeah. There are defensive options for Zyra. She can always throw out the grasping roots and then just drop the ult and try to run away. But
That won't save her
You
when
might-
Samira can win wall the root, and then
oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. But the Samira W would block
she can
the
just
root.
E out of the ult. So it's it will be if a Zenith Blade lands on the Zyra, she will
It
probably
will
die.
probably
It's
be dead.
almost guaranteed.
Okay. EXE bans Caitlyn in the second phase. FLM replies with Ari. I think EXE is just looking to deny any kind of safety
Yep,
for
should ban-
Hyperion.
They should ban Ezreal or Senna
Yeah, I
here
would expect
for safety.
They don't want him to be able to hide. They want to.
Yep.
They want to go for the kill.
I would probably prefer the Ezreal ban because he has a dash. If like we saw last game, like if you landed onto the Samira, she's doesn't really have that much escape options as well.
Right.
So I would look for an Ezreal ban to make sure that they can really punish this bot lane with the Kazakhs coming down.
And it's a Darius ban against Bearson there for FLM. We haven't seen it in a while, but it's known that he will pick that, and it's one of his favorites. So it'll actually be Ashe, the immobile AD carry.
So I would like to see Ezreal picked here to
Yeah, if you're Hyperion,
counter-
you're looking for what can I pick to survive.
yeah. What will let me live. I want to live. And
And
yes,
it is
we
there,
do
so,
see it.
okay.
So it's a good pick from them.
Okay, so it's still solo laners that need to be picked for EXE, and they continue to hover the Alawi before selecting something else just to make our jobs more difficult.
Yep. We could probably
Let's
see
see.
some like a tank from Bear. Unfortunately, I would love to see the Aatrox here blind,
Yeah,
but
but you
he'll
need
probably
some-
end up going Maokai.
Yeah, there's the Maokai.
And then I don't really like, I don't think they pull out the Yone again because is no magic damage on their team. It will
Yeah.
probably be
Lissandra's up this time. It was banned last game against Padawan. In this game, it's available.
Yep.
So we'll see if he chooses that. But FLM
I would
has
like to see the
saved
Lux here though,
their
but
final
it is going to
pick.
be the
Yeah.
Lissandra.
All right, so it's the final pick for FLM. They've saved it for Gilio. What does he pick to punish Maokai most effectively?
Brand.
Brand top lane.
That
I don't think we're going to see
Oh.
Brand top lane. Dr. Mundo.
could work.
Yeah, Dr. Mundo, we haven't seen it, but it can certainly be effective in these kind of tank matchups.
And there's the Camille that I said could
There's
come
the
out
Camille
today.
that we also talked about the Camille.
Yeah, I did say it was Gilio's most played, and he hasn't pulled it out yet. But I would love to see him pull it off, and so he did.
Yeah, and that's okay. So much clearer objective here for FLM this game than last game because they have the Camille split push, and Maokai will not be able to withstand that as the game goes on. So it's on FLM to try to keep it split up because in a team fight, Lissandra, Leona, Samira, and Maokai will just destroy you. So one team wants to force team fights. I'm expecting EXE to go to every dragon, attend every dragon fight that they possibly can because that's where their comp shines. Whereas FLM are just going to be blitzing towers the entire time. I think that's the strategies for
Yep,
these
we
picks.
really need to see like Pai go top lane and try and really get this Camille ahead. Hopefully he does. We'll see what happens, but I'm really worried about the Zyra. That's the only pick that is scary to me. Where that looks like a really easy way to get your Kha'Zix or your Samira ahead and start snowballing this game.
Free gold here
Um,
in the bottom lane for anyone who decides to wander down here. Yeah, it is a little bit of a weird pick, but we were talking about they need more damage. What support does more damage than Zyra? Zyra always does the most damage in every game that there's a Zyra in. So that
I
is
guess.
something. Even if Storyteller dies many times this game, he will still provide damage to his team. Maybe that's all they need, or maybe Samira will pop off and take over the game. We shall see. But this kind of the wild card here is the mid lane, right? Bot lane, you would expect EXE to win. Top lane, you expect FLM to win. But the mid lane, it's kind of a toss-up, right? Lissandra probably loses to Syndra earlier in the game, but doesn't really get beaten very hard because she can always ult to escape the unleashed power.
Yep.
So and has really good gank power. So it's sort of a toss-up there as to who's going to have a bigger impact.
Yeah, I really
Lissandra
like
or
when
Syndra.
like you play Lissandra and then you see like you have them go to a side lane and help set up these like tower dives bot lane. So that's another problem is if they get the Kha'Zix and the Lissandra coming bot lane with them, it's almost like a guaranteed kill on at least the Zyra, if not both Ezreal as well.
Right. Yeah, so it might be it might come down to just how well can you contain Padawan and Tricknick from accessing that vulnerable Zyra or Camille, who's also pretty squishy in the early game and might be food for the bug. So this is going to be a much more volatile game from last time.
I do like EXE's comp here, though. I do think that they should be able to pull this one out. I'd love to see Gilio just pop off in 1v9 on the Camille, though.
It's just there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could just happen where this team just snowballs out of control, and I feel like EXE has more of those than FLM does. I think FLM's only true win con is the Camille, while EXE has both the Kazakhs and the Samira to pop off.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Now, I haven't really seen Warwick in competitive recently. How does that match up against Kazakhs? Obviously, I would expect in the early game that he would have an advantage.
I know Tricknick maxes or evolves Q first almost every game and goes Dark Harvest. So
Okay.
I feel like early game Warwick can actually punish the Kazakhs if he finds them in a jungle camp,
Right.
where he's not going to be isolated, and then you have your like E damage to like reduce it. But I feel the later that the game will go, the Kazakhs will be able to snowball and take him on.
Okay.
Seeing the Conqueror on the Warwick is a bit weird. I feel like normally you see press the attack because auto Q auto procs it, and it just makes it so that everyone that you gank will do it.
Sure. Understood. Yeah, it's obviously it provides really easy CC to follow up on with the fear and then into the alt, and that Q, just you can't get away from it. He latches onto you, and even if you travel 10 million miles, he somehow appears right behind you. So he can easily set up Kronk or Gilio or Hyperion.
We see Ezreal take Cleanse and Zyra take Ignite, which is a bit interesting because as Ezreal you can always E out of the Leona ultimate.
Yes.
But Zyra's, I feel like if in this bot lane you're 100% targeting Zyra, if any of them should be running Cleanse, it should be the Zyra to make sure that she doesn't just like get blown up.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, the way I'm seeing it is the only thing it could be for is the Lissandra ult, because Ezreal really shouldn't have any trouble getting away from the other CC, but there really is nothing you can do.
The problem with that though is like you can just get Cleanse for the Lissandra ult, and Lissandra normally ults herself until she builds a Zhonya's.
Yeah.
So you have time to build the QSS for the Lissandra.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be able to skip the summoner and just buy the item instead. So yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of an unconventional choice to take Cleanse on the Ezreal here. So
I'd like
we'll
to see what the
goes.
Warwick max is, because I'm pretty sure W max is the way to go. Because like your Q is always just going to give you a ton of health back no matter what rank it's at, and your E cooldown or stats don't really go up all that much.
Level
but we get
one
to see the
engage
level
from
1
Capua.
cheese
Ignite drop, but Storyteller
burning the flash.
flashes away and is okay here. The wave is actually pushing for FLM, so they might be able to get level 2 first. Bearson actually bullying the Camille level 1. Camille not super strong very early in the game. Needs a little bit of scaling before she can
If
really
that
punish
Zenith
the
Lane
knockout.
had landed, the Zyra would have probably died.
Yeah. Storyteller's pulse rate is
Cap will actually not
Pretty
hitting
high.
level 2 though. Must have missed a couple of minions to but flash
Zenith
Q
Blade,
in,
and there's
yep.
no flash on the Zyra. They will easily claim that kill. EXE smell blood. Starting just in champion select, they see the Zyra and they're like, that is our bullseye.
Yeah, so that's the first of probably like 10 deaths that we'll see on the Zyra. It's not going to be
Yikes.
pretty, I don't think.
Yeah, well, and yeah. So obviously he's very vulnerable. There is no flash on Capwell. This is for coming up, but
But the
he will roam mid lane. Simply uses Q to stun Krunk, and he goes down without being able to use his flash.
Oh, but here's
either.
the Pi gang top lane.
Yep. Bearson has flash. Does not have very much HP though. I would expect him to die, and the jaws of the beast.
Following his
Yeah.
flash, so
Warwick Q can't get away from that one, and so Bearson, despite using his flash, will go down. So kill credit goes to Gilio, so that's exactly where FLM needs the money to go, is on their Camille, but the rest of the map not looking too hot. You
Oh,
see
can they
lying
catch
in
up
wait
Kronk
for
again?
Kronk. Oh no, he flashes
Oh,
away.
Oh,
Nice
a good
out of the
interrupt
weak.
on the E with the E on the Kazakhs. Maybe he can run out with phase rush, and he actually escapes.
Actually gets away. Really nice interrupt there.
And
on
now
the Kazakhs jump.
here comes the Warwick from behind to maybe collapse and catch them.
Yeah, Cap will drop it lower and
Yep.
lower, and he will get clawed to death by Pai. Teleport channeled from Padawan
And he
Tano.
follows him again. This Warwick is just following everyone, but Paddy teleporting in, getting the root off, and immediately catching the Warwick out.
Yeah, double kill for Pai there. Will trade his life for it, but this is some spicy play with the Warwick. We
Looking a
didn't
lot
see
more
this stuff from
looking a
Sejuani,
lot more
yeah.
comfortable and this actually being places on the map and getting a lot of kills.
Yeah,
but
he's already got the Tiamat. He can out-farm the Kazakhs heavily.
Yep, and with the Tiamat, he should really be able to just punish the Kazakhs in. Like, that's a lot of damage that he has over the Kazakhs, who just has the blue smite. So he should really look to, like, maybe invade and try and find where he is.
Okay, so Crunk holding the bot lane as Hyperion and Storyteller make their way back down there. He's pretty low, does not have flash either, so he's in trouble. Padawan could look to just try to solo kill him there. He's got a level lead in the mid lane, and he's got 2 kills, so he does have the damage to try to kill Crunk, and with the Aftershock and a Mercury Treads purchase, he's not really in any danger himself.
Yeah. But also with those purchase items, the Lissandra alone does not have the damage to kill Kronk. He
Yeah.
still but he can still set up these ganks for any one of his teammates to come and get the kills.
Yeah, very defensive.
But
items
here
there.
comes another Zenith
another
blade.
Zenith blade.
And he's dead.
Ooh, Solo Mason picking up his 2nd kill there in the bot lane. The 2v2 not favoring FLM there. EXE taking full advantage of that vulnerable Zyra. Yeah, and it's
But
BF Sword.
the Ezreal is keeping up in farm, so that's always nice. But
Yeah. BF Sword for Samira versus Doran's and consumables for Ezreal. So there's just such a huge gap in power for that bot lane right now.
and he's probably going to go back and get a tier too, so that power level's not going to change for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, struggles in the bot lane, but they have good items for Warwick and for Camille. Their top side is winning. The gold lead overall is small. It's a 300
They're
gold
going to
advantage
sit in this
only.
bush and maybe catch out the Ezreal if he walks up a bit too far.
Secret mission.
Oh,
Capwell
Campbell decides to walk out of the bush instead.
Yeah, they decided not to go for more secret agent shenanigans there. And it's a lull. Everything slows down. We had 7 kills.
I mean,
in the
they've
first
got
few
1
minutes
kill per
here.
minute so far.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
Maybe
for
they'll keep
now,
it up.
The junglers are looking to kill their 2nd round of buffs. The laners are all just kind of stabilizing here. We're not seeing dramatic farm leads anywhere. Small lead for Gilio in the top lane. Small lead for Pai in the jungle. Small lead for Padawan in the mid lane. And then pretty much a wash between Hyperion and Solo Mason. So everyone's still able to get their minions for golden experience, but it's the way the skirmishes have played out that contributes to who is ahead right now.
And the lead's not too big. It's just where the leads are. So, like, there's a huge lead bot lane for EXE's team, while there's, like, a huge lead in the jungle for FLM. So we really need to see Pai, like, find a place where he can gank and go there. And, like,
Yeah, and he could look just to go for the Rift Herald, which has just spawned, and kind of dare Trick Nick to come challenge him at it.
which it looks like he's going to do. Blast
Yeah.
comes over the wall.
Yeah, and they don't even see him on the Rift Scuttler or the control ward that they have there because he just flew over with the blast cone. So that is a really great tool to help Gilio even more because they can use that top lane, get some more plate money, and work on chipping down that outer tower so that Maokai doesn't have a place to hide and freeze the lane like he's doing now.
Yeah, so this time I would like to see him just use it probably right away. Get the money onto the Camille as fast as you can, just so she can start putting more pressure on Bearson.
Yeah, and very early in the game, we saw Bearson kind of bullying the Camille. Those days are over. The Camille is going to be winning pretty much any trade
Yep,
from
that
here
was the
on
best the Maokai would have.
Yeah. Your reign was short, Mr. Maokai. So this is good for FLM. They need that top lane pressure in order to win this game. The Dragons, we talked earlier about the team fight comp that EXE has is, the hookshot doesn't connect, and Bearson looking for the solo kill. We said that there's no pressure in this lane for him, but we were wrong. That Bombi Cinder doing a lot of work there as Bearson just totally claps him using all of his abilities.
Yeah, the Camille missing the hook shot on the wall and not being able to escape really.
Yeah, that really spells doom there
really
because
sucked, didn't it?
Because Bearson is like, oh, well, now you have no escape. I can just root you over and over again. And Gilio decides not to even flash. He knows that if he flashes, he's just going to get run down by the grasping roots. They're going to find their way over to him, and he's going to be
Ezreal
rooted
actually
anyway.
backed and got a full mana immune on his back.
Wow, that's impressive that he just laned from level 1 long enough to save up the money for an entire mana moon. So he's pretty happy about that because that's going to be stacking up pretty quick now.
Yeah.
Because now he technically has one item while Samira has only components.
Well,
as
we just see the Lissandra ult come out and just guarantee a kill for the Kazakhs.
Yeah, I mean, and Crunk doesn't even have a chance to flash there. Padawan just up and uses the ult, stuns him, and Tricknick has plenty of damage there on the level 7 Kazakhs to just zero him out there. Did he go ahead and evolve the claws this game? I know you mentioned that he has a propensity for doing that.
I wasn't looking, but based on the damage, it probably was.
So nice and going in.
And we see
Infinite
the
duress.
Warwick drop the Rift Herald bot lane, which is kind of weird when we're saying all these win
Oh, the
cons
Samira
are-
ult! Oh my gosh, it's a triple kill for Solo Mason there. They will get the charge, but what did it cost?
Yeah, so dropping the Rift Herald bot lane when your win con is the Camille top is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of a weird play to go down there and use the Rift Herald bottom. But it looked good for a second there.
We're gonna get a replay of it.
Yep. Yeah. So it started with with Pi going on Capwill after the Rift Herald.
Yeah, but at this point right here, Cody waits, or Solo Mason waits, and as soon as the Fear goes on Warwick, there's no more crowd control on the side of FLM. So she's able to just get her full ult off on all 3 members and just destroy them all.
Yeah, just kill them all. Well played there by the bot lane.
Very patient, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, they only get out with the kill on Capwill, I believe, so it's really not a bad trade at all. Another hook shot. Not connecting for Gilio there. Capwill will be able to march his way out of the river there. As they're looking for Crunk, he still had his flash before. Nice stun. Keeps him safe. So he'll be fine this time. He's got to kind of work his way back into the lane, but he'll manage it. All right, so the question now. So Bearson solo killed Gilio in the top lane.
Yeah.
That is a really bad sign for FLM because now it means it's going to be forever until your Camille is strong enough to provide a split push presence in the game. And there's only 2 dragons.
No flash on the Syndra, so getting caught out by the Leona ult will just spell her doom.
Yeah, Padawan, you mentioned he needed a little bit of help, but the rest of EXE happy to give it to him each time. He just swaps his way in with the claw, stuns him, and then someone else provides more damage and CC, and the kills are pretty easy under the Crunk there. So, yeah, I mentioned before, so there's 2 dragons now on EXE.
Wait, Warwick going over the wall,
FLM
getting
engaging.
a double fear. Capel will probably... Oh, the heal from the Samira, but Gilio comes in. Here comes the re-engage, but the Hex... what's the...
Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah,
dodges
Hextech
one tower shot, but he...
But it also interrupts the ult because of the slight CC that it has. It stopped the Samira ult.
Oh, okay, just from being pushed away.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then the tower finishes the Camille and the Warwick up anyway.
So they get the shutdown. Who got the kill credit? Was it Gilio?
I think Camille got both, yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of an expensive trade to make, but you get more gold on your Camille. You shut down the Samira, who had been building such a huge advantage down here, and you get a lot of plates. Hyperion and Storyteller might even be able to finish off that tower. Looks like they're going to back off as Capwill shows up. But if you're FLM, you take what you can get, and they were able to to get something back there.
Yeah.
Of course, in the top lane, Bearson just kind of spent some time alone with that top lane tower and get some gold for himself. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way this spot lane has been looking all game. Just Zenith Blade onto Storyteller
Yeah.
and Solo Mason happy to clean up afterwards.
The Zyra walks into range of the Leona ult and will just, without a flash, has no escape. And there's just too much CC with the Leona and then too much damage from the Samira to be able to walk up that far right now.
And there's no downtime on that all-in, really, because the Samira ult has no real
Yep,
cooldown.
there's no cooldown, but then there's also the Leona ult that's like on a 1 minute cooldown.
Right, and like they didn't use any of their sums there. They don't need to wait, a long time before they can do that over and over again. And so it's really tough to be Storyteller and just to always have to respect that really potent all-in.
And Riskit bringing up a good point of the Ezreal's cleanse. If he had heal, it gives a little bit more survivability to the Zyra, and maybe the lane wouldn't have been snowballed as hard. But like we said, or like I said, the cleanse isn't really doing much for the Ezreal. He hasn't been targeted at all with the crowd control.
Right.
And it just hasn't done anything for him all game.
Behind enemy lines here fighting Pai.
But the amount of healing that Warwick brings to this fight, he's surviving for so long, but here comes the rest of EXE to finally help Bearson.
Gosh. That is 5 people behind the mid lane outer tower of FLM.
And with the Rift Herald still up, and catches the Zyra again. Oh, Capital's still tanking. Oh, he barely gets out.
Pops the stone plate, and they're just to squeak out there, and now the Rift Herald
get
getting another charge.
And backs away from the inhib because it would have been a bad inhib.
Well,
getting an inhib at 16 minutes.
The death timers are still so short. It's only 16 minutes in. Everyone's coming back up for FLM, but EXE are not slowing down. They're immediately going to their 3rd dragon. The time is running out for them to get any kind of win con out of this Camille because they're already at 3 drakes.
Yeah.
And you can't give up the Ocean Soul here, so things looking pretty dire for FLM again. Pai looking to see if he can
maybe catch
mop
up
up
Bear,
a
but Bear
reply
just
kill here. I think Bearson will go
Bear's
down.
just saying, yeah, well, I wasn't going to be able to walk out anyways, so.
Pai chasing further and just eats the Lissandra ult into so much damage from the other members. Capwell will claim that kill. But, man, just when they thought we got something, we killed Bearson, there's 3 drakes, but at least now we could seize the mid tower. Well, then they just lost Pai, and now they don't quite have the strength in numbers to kill that tower.
Capwell is a bit by himself.
Look at the damage from
But
Tricknick, though.
unfortunately-
So much. Man, that makes
that
it seem
Q
like,
evolve.
yeah, that makes it seem like Evolved Claws are the way to go there. A double TP channel from Padawan and Bearson. Can FLM escape the
There's the
cleanse
cleanse,
used,
and
but
he's
it's
still
immediately followed up by a Shield of Daybreak from Capwell. You cleanse one, and then they just followed up one more immediately afterwards. Feels bad for him. So, yeah, EXE using their double teleports to punish FLM for being too far up. Tricknick putting out huge damage onto Gilio there, and then the rest was all cleanup. So,
Zyra's still not on her first item. Once she gets that Leandre's is when she really starts to do all that damage. But she still needs a little bit ways to go before she gets there. But
yeah, and even when you get there, it doesn't really matter with the items that EXE have already completed. I don't think that will really save them from the position that they're in. What they need is a good steal on the dragon when that comes back up to buy them more time, and they need more farm on the Camille. That's their win con. It has been from the start, but they're bleeding too much elsewhere right now. And if you're EXE, then you just want to keep the train moving, that you want to take every dragon, every Baron.
Yeah, they have the Camille top right now, trying to get that pressure building, but EXE just says, you have an open inhib. We can just walk it down, get that right now. We don't actually need to send anyone to you, and now the Camille has to come back to try and help and defend. And actually TPing bot lane onto the Samira.
Oh, they're engaging. Flank TP from Gilio. Where will he engage? It's actually EXE who's starting the fight, though. Gilio finally makes his way in, but is bursted down, and Bearson will kill him. Great True Shot barrage. Hits all 5 from Hyperion, but there's just not the items to back it up. And on the play that FLM started, they lose their top lane.
But they might get the... No.
Not quite able to
Maokai
get the
is
enemy
too
top
tanky.
laner either. Yeah. Yeah, it's really rough for them because now they don't have the teleport on the Camille either, which makes it a lot harder to split push. I think it was a mistake to call for an engage if you're FLM. You're behind and you need the split push to stay competitive in the game. You needed to save that teleport until the last, most desperate moment. As Pai goes in, but
And
EXE turning it around.
That was a huge ult from
Yeah,
Patty
Solo
right there,
Mason
too.
and Padawan say to FLM, you are not allowed to be there. That is illegal. We will kill all 4 of you.
call an ambulance
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Bearson was retreating, saying, oh no, don't chase me. I'm just an old man. But his entire team is backing him up, and they're punishing that overstep efficiently. They're going to take a second inhibitor tower. They may not be able to
They
finish
don't have any
it.
minions, but they're pretty tanky.
They'll
They'll
back off.
give it up for now, though. Dragon is spawning pretty soon.
Yes, and look at the vision that EXE has established in the blue side jungle there. It's so hard for FLM to come at them now. But they must. They can't give over the Ocean Soul or they will never kill Maokai ever
There's
again.
no TPs on EXE, and the Leona stayed...
Cap will caught.
Yeah. Leona recalled way later than everyone else, so good job on FLM to like finally catch out someone.
Yep. They understood that EXE were going to be looking to reset before the dragon, and they found someone recalling.
Yep, they found the person that recalled last. And, but
So now
4v5, they might think that they're able to fight here, but I still think EXE has so many so much gold on their characters that
It's so
they
dangerous.
they might be able to just 4v5.
They're bush camping here, but they know Hyperion was down there clearing the other control ward, so they're not going to be totally shocked to find everyone in the brush. It's a 4v5.
Yeah, they can just tell that everyone's there.
Capel has already respawned and is going to be chugging his way over down to the dragon with his
Yeah, so
mobility
FLM
boots.
has to like make a choice of like, do they force a fight now? But like they're wasting so much time that by the time that the fight actually starts, the Leona will be back and it'll be a 5v5 again.
Yeah.
So
they
start
will
the dragon
start the
now.
dragon, but it's
So late that now it's a 5v5, and now I
we
expect
go.
Bearson to just throw out the Malphite ult.
There's the
or
Solar Flare.
Yeah. Solar Flare comes out first, but
that Ocean Soul secured by
Padawan with
huge
a
engage from
huge
Padawan
W
Tana.
from Padawan and
And
just
Solo
basically
Mason.
one-shots the whole team.
Solo Mason says, don't mind if I do. Gonna finish off the rest of FLM. That is Ocean Soul plus a 5 for 0 ace. Not a 5 for 0 ace. They will lose one member there. 1,000 gold shut down to Hyperion.
Yep, but
Something to be
EXE
happy
just
about,
heading
but
straight
yeah.
to Baron after getting the...
Here's
so
the
yeah, we
replay.
could watch it again.
So they start, like
Yep.
you said, they start the dragon really late and
Yeah.
then are forced to retreat. Solar Flare comes down and it's a good stun onto Gilio, but the Zenith Blade doesn't connect. Pai goes for the attempt that he had to make to steal a dragon, but
Then
look
the
at the
flash
engage
W
from
from
Lissandra.
Patty.
So huge
No
there.
Samira ult needed for that fight. It was all Lissandra.
Just destroys everyone. And now they will be able to kill the Baron. It's a little slower without Samira, but with a Q evolved Kha'Zix, you'll get there eventually.
Yep, and they waited for the Samira respawns just in time for them to take it, so even
Yep.
she has the buff.
Yep, so pretty clean execution this game from EXE. Again, securing every dragon. This time, FLM was able to get one tower, but still overwhelming gold lead. And pretty much full control from EXE.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot for FLM to get back into this game and win.
Yeah, so you pretty much can't split push during the Baron buff. You'll lose too
Lose
much
that,
of your
yep.
base. And it's so difficult even to split push against the Ocean Soul because Maokai no longer really loses to you at all. And to be honest, Maokai hasn't been losing ever to the Camille at any stage of this game.
Yeah. Do you normally go Titanic Hydra first, or are you supposed to go Hydra or I feel like you're supposed to get the
Typically,
Triforce, right?
you'd either finish Triforce or finish Tiamat and then Triforce.
Yeah.
I've seen Ravenous Hydra first.
Because
It's not
they went
horrible.
Hydra into Sheen and then finished, or yeah, he went Tiamat, Sheen, and then finished Hydra,
Yeah,
which is
a little odd.
kind of a weird path, but
The real swing there was
the solo kill. Yep.
Yeah, regardless of what items
But
you
the
choose to buy.
Q
Good
has his
stuff.
tier item down, and his poke is doing quite a lot actually. But
Yeah, I can't
just-
see a world where they're not forced to give at least
Yeah.
they're both inhibs.
yeah, the Maokai just uses the ultimate to make sure that they don't walk up, and
Yeah.
then they just take the inhib.
Yeah, they'll get mid inhib and then they'll probably get the top lane tower as well. I don't really see a defense possible for FLM from there. The question is, if EXE push further and decide, hey, we want to try to end the game on this push, where does FLM decide to fight?
Gilio is a little bit caught out over here.
Oh my gosh, Capwell just going straight onto Gilio. The support just bullying the top laner of FLM. It's not looking good when that's happening.
I mean, that's just the Ocean Soul for you.
Yeah. And Capwell he's played confidently in this entire series. Given the Leona both times, he's looked good on it. Okay. The Baron, they've still got a few more waves, I believe, on the Baron buff, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to secure this other inhib.
I mean, they have minions in the base right now, so someone has to, and they
Oh,
are
yeah,
sending the
Tricknick.
Kha'Zix
Yeah.
bot lane to get that inhib instead.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart of them to try to split up FLM more. And the Kha'Zix should beat anyone else one-on-one at
And
this stage.
so, yep, so here comes the Maokai ult, and if that hits,
Oh! Flash hookshot.
but
Gets 4-man knockup, but is immediately destroyed. He's not anywhere near tanky enough to
no
survive.
not enough damage. And here comes the
All right, so Storyteller will die to Tricknick, and he will pick up another kill before Pai will trade him back. Wow, he was unafraid there going in to the enemy base. But because of those 2 kills, EXE should be able to secure the second
yep.
inhib.
And this is the third inhib.
Oh.
The Tricknick went and got the bottom inhib during all of that.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
This might just be the end of the game, honestly, if they
Yeah.
choose to jive these 2 members.
Yeah, it's still 12 more seconds in Hyperion. The Baron buff has expired, though. EXE might decide that it's better just to reset, but it looks like they're going to see what more they can get. Gilio expended his flash last fight, so he can't.
Yeah, Bearson just able to like walk up and just tank everything that they're throwing at him.
Oh, 2-man stun, hook shot into Tech
Misses.
Ultimatum onto Solo Mason. They need to kill the Samira. He's feared. Padawan
do
Tana
end up
is
getting
legendary,
him.
though. Yeah, they've gotten Solo Mason. Bearson
But
dropping
with
as
no
well.
Samira, there's not that much damage, and this Ezreal can actually pick it up. Will this be Patty's first death? And it is.
So disappointing if you are an EXE fan. That is the first death of Padawan.
We'll mark that up as a win for FLM. They got Patty's first death.
And this just now, it was EXE overstaying. They got the 3 inhibs and then were indecisive whether they wanted to try to end the game or back out. And as a result, they got caught by a good stun from Crunk, and Gilio followed up. They just barely managed to kill Solo Mason. And then from then on, Hyperion wasn't really under any threat. So FLM run away with the fight. They won't be able to leave their base anytime soon, though.
Well, no, they have to. They're on wave clear duty for the next quite a while, and Elder Dragon is up for EXE to take, so they can just take this and then walk straight back into the enemy's base and probably end it from there.
Yep, I would say FLM have a few minutes at most
Yep.
left defending their Nexus before EXE finish them off.
Yeah, FLM has to look and try and get Solo Mason again, but it's really hard to do with an Elder Dragon buff and how much damage they actually have.
Yeah, he's got QSS now as well.
Yep.
Capwell trying to start this fight, actually, and the Grasping Root's going to just go all the way into the fountain. of FLM. They're trying to just get some Elder Burn.
They're getting a lot of damage onto Capital right now, though.
Mexico Tomato, but so much damage for Solar Mason. Gilio can't withstand it, and here come the executions. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4.
And it's
Hyperion
just
will
the Ezreal
run away.
running away from Bearson. Will Bearson catch him?
And that's an ace
And that's
just
5.
before the end of the game. 2-0 series for EXE.
Yep, very well played from the bot lane in both games. Being able to use the Leona to build up a lead and just go through there.
Yeah, I think EXE played both games really well. I think the second game, FLM knew they had to do some things differently, and they did. They had some surprises. The Warwick looking really good in the early game, but they took a risk on the Zyra, and it did not pay off. Cap were able to repeatedly punish
Like you said, Zyra always doing a lot of damage. It's like fourth in the game. Pretty not bad for 0-9.
Yes. Yeah, and Hyperion performing pretty well with the most damage in the game. But the problem is they could not match the team fighting power of EXE. They never got Gilio to the point where he could really bully Bearson around on the Camille into Maokai, and as a result, they don't really have a winning situation. EXE was promptly taking every dragon on spawn, and so they forced FLM into a position where they had to team fight, and their comp, even at even gold, doesn't win those.
Yeah, it was very well played from EXE both games, going towards their win cons and just getting what they're supposed to do. Look forward to seeing them playing again.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been looking really good.
I don't know. I think who plays Thursday? Is it us?
We have a game on the 22nd. Yes. I think
So-
I think the next match is Fire Nation versus Temple Rush on Thursday.
Yep. So I guess we should probably start getting ready for that one. shouldn't we?
Yeah, what's today again? Today's
Crap.
Sunday, Wednesday.
Gotta start
So,
preparing for
any
that.
Any other comments on this series?
I think we covered most of it, but
Okay.
well played by EXE.
Yeah. Do
but-
not give Cap Will Leona. He's too good on it.
Yeah, they were banning the Nautilus instead, so maybe ban both of them. I don't know.
Yeah. But congratulations to EXE.
And
I think this is where we sign off. So everyone, thanks for watching, and have a good night.
Carry on the battle, son. The war's not over. The dawn's not that far away. Hop back on the saddle soon. You soulless soldier. The dark can consume your brain. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe. But all we got are ashes of our old memories. They can try to take me down, but they can't take me to my knees. No, you'll never take I feel it coming again. That's what she told me, what she told me, what she said. Yeah, maybe it's all in my head. Cause I've been holding every breath. A rush of blood, it hits me like a flood. That touch so bad, the kind you wish you had. I got a good feeling, we on the ceiling. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. You got me reeling. And I got a good feeling. I feel good. I wanna break the tension. That's what I told him, what I said. Hey, this could be a higher connection. If I let you, if you let me, let it in. A rush of blood, it hits me like a flood. That touch